Okay, so hey, black women, I told you guys that I was going to be doing more videos about the psychological makeup and why women do the things they do in more of my videos, because I really need black women to understand that the way that they're doing things in life where it concerns these black males is really no good. Okay, you're putting yourself in danger, and you're putting yourself in risky situations that can be totally avoided. Now I know there is this sense of wanting to belong, that sense of belongingness, what you have been conditioned to believe by society and everybody you have probably been related to, where you believe that you need to be in a relationship with someone else to be made whole or to feel validated or feel like you're a woman. None of that is true. What is actually true is that your brain will produce particular levels of hormones and different, they're all hormones really, different level of hormones in your bodies and secretions that will cause you to either want something again, have a craving for it, get a sense of pleasure from it, even a weird type of euphoria, because it is a chemical reaction going on in your body. However, when you know what is happening in your body and why things occur when they occur, you have more control over your actions and more control over the risk factor you put yourself into when you deal with black males. Now, just briefly let you know, I'll chronicle the events that happened this morning. I woke up to see a whole bunch of people covering two stories, right? One, where the black woman was held in a closet in an abandoned home for 2 months by a derelict, irresponsible, nothing having in this world black male who feels like because he has no self-impulse control and he has nothing in this world, the only thing he can do to make him feel like he's someone is to exercise hatred, pain, violence, and hateful, vengeful acts against black women and little girls, right? So he went and took his girlfriend, who no doubtedly was probably at the point where she was tired of dealing with a bum, a person who doesn't contribute to anything in life, and wanted to get rid of him. But here's the catch, black women. If you just stop dealing with them from the beginning, you don't have to worry about all these outcomes. And once you stop dealing with them and you realize what it is that goes on with you biologically, you can understand it, and therefore you know that the feeling will pass. And other feelings like self-preservation and understanding that when you know how to control yourself and you realize that they just refuse to learn how to control themselves, it's easier to deal with them when you have to, because they refuse to respect you as a human being. Everything that these dudes do in life, it's always about this homosocial relationship that they think makes them look good or is a way for them to bond with other men by dehumanizing women and using women as some form of commodity. That is not what you're here for. And this is a psychological and well-studied situation with them. If you go online and just Google homosocial, right, relationships or anything homosocial, you'll see so many extenuating factors that contribute to this mentality, to this actual behavior. And you'll see that there's nothing wrong with you. It's everything wrong with the individual carrying out these practices and the individual who refuses to just do the right damn thing, period. So I wanted to explain to you verbatim from a psychology post about this. So when it comes to males, listen to this. It says, love isn't just a bunch of chemicals, but brain chemistry. Brain chemistry that plays an important role in the way we feel, in the way we feel about ourselves, and the way we feel about others. And when we feel good, when we feel good about things, that usually means there's a huge level of dopamine that is released in your brain. So when you're doing something and you're like, oh, I really enjoy this, know that there's a process of your brain releasing large amounts of the chemical dopamine into your brain, so that that pleasure feeling lasts a long time. So it says, men or women experience any kind of pleasure involving love, the dopamine will increase. Now, here's the thing. With men, dopamine also increases the amount of testosterone the body produces. The increased testosterone is why people sweat, and when they're around someone, they feel like they're in love, or they have a high sex drive when they feel like love is new. Well, they're trying to make it sound very nice in the article because they can't be guttural and factual. So basically what they're trying to say is, when males feel pleasure, or they begin to process the thought of pleasure, the dopamine affects their testosterone to the extent where they get horny, or they tend to have a high sex drive. And the thing that they're calling love is not love. It's usually lust or some type of sexual deviancy that these males possess. So as you go on, and then they talk about women, they say, when women fall in this so-called love, the body produces norepinephrine and phenylethylamine. I don't know, phenethylamine. I've never heard of that before. These areas focus on creating a sense of euphoria. So remember I was telling you before, like, it's all pleasure. So the chemicals in your body increase, right? And they make you feel happy, make you feel like, oh, this really feels wonderful. So while it says women are focused on this sense of euphoria, is the main reason why women often become focused on the one man, to the exception or the excursion of everybody else and everything else. You know, like when they say, oh, she got a new guy and now she forgot about her friends and stuff like that. It is because if she is unable to control herself, meaning she's a person where she's more caught up in how her body feels instead of how her brain works, and understanding that regardless of you feeling pleasure or not, you still have to have logical sense about you to do the right thing. I mean, it could feel good to a person who has an abnormal psychology to feel like, stabbing somebody to death is the most pleasurable thing in the world, or decapitating someone. So this is why self-control and self-awareness is most important in all these situations, which they lack. Because everyone goes through these chemical changes in their body due to reactions to stimuli. Now, if you look at something and it causes a different reaction, you feel something, you hear something, it all will play out the same way, right? But when you sit there and you say to yourself, oh, I don't care about the consequence, which is what these black males do, and I'm going to let this feeling overwhelm me instead of me doing what I know I'm supposed to do, which is the right thing, that's where the problem lies. And it always lies there. Always, always, always. Right? Because they let the feelings that the body goes through to control them in ways that become harmful and extremely risky to other people. And it is what it is. So in both of those cases this morning, where the women realized this situation with this person who is clearly unstable, and I don't mean having mental issues where they need to be hospitalized or use mental illness as an excuse or a crutch in life. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a person who knows right from wrong, but decides that because I like the way this feels, that feels, sex feels, or what she does when I ask her to do something feels, I'm going to think about that feeling only, and to hell with doing the right thing. And if I can't get what I want, because, I remember how exhilarating the oxytocin felt when we were having sex, or we were cuddling, or she created this emotional barrier from the way I feel so horribly about myself on a regular basis, or reflecting on things that were done to me that was traumatic, I feel like I have the right to continue to feel those things and then hurt her if she denies them for me. So women, you have got to understand that in order to break those barriers, you got to know what's going on inside of you, feel comfortable enough within yourself to realize that because I may be going through some biological moments or processes, however you want to say it, apple, tomato, right? You got to understand why those things are happening so that you know that it is not some incredible love you've fallen into where you just can't let go of it, because if you do, it will never come again. Baby, it will come every single time you get into a relationship and someone provides you with pleasure. When somebody provides you with pleasure, all of those same chemicals will be released, and you will, this fucking light is so hot because I'm trying, let me move it the other way, because you wouldn't be able to see me because it's dark because of the weather today. It's like snowing and stuff here. So, but anyway, I'm talking to you women because I am a woman and I understand all of the fairy tales we have been taught, all of the tomfoolery we have been convinced that we're supposed to believe in, and none of that shit is true. None of it is true, black women. There is no such thing as some great love. There is no such thing. Your body is chemically comprised of everything you need to be extremely happy in this world, extremely sad, and everywhere else in between. So when a woman is trying to tell you, do not take on this person, stay away from this person. This person is deadly. This person has, throughout society, has proven themselves to be a huge safety risk. Listen, because you are not ever going to find that one. You know how they say, this person is the one, I'm the one, he's the one. There's no such thing. That is all the stuff we have created in our mind due to fantasy. No such thing. Your body will release those chemicals and make you feel huge amounts of pleasure as long as the person is being nice to you and treating you in a way that you find pleasurable. Now, if the person is disrespectful, which most of them are, you're going to also do the reverse of this process where other chemicals will be released that your body gets addicted to, where you tend to think that the way that that person is treating you so horribly is something that begins to feel good to you as well, which is crazy, but people do it every day. You know how you ask that question all the time? If she's getting beat half to death and this person is doing such horrible things to her, why doesn't she leave? Because of all those chemical processes that are going on in your body. And you not having enough psychological strength, self-esteem, and self-confidence to know that I could like stuff all I want, and I could feel like I'm literally on top of the world with a person or without a person. But as soon as that situation with that person causes me any kind of distress, I am out of there. Because it is a known fact, dealing with these black males, which you should not be dealing with at all, the more you engage with them, the more ignorant, the more lazy, the more stupid, the more disrespectful, the more violent they become. Because you have to understand that they do not respect education. They do not respect the humanity or the freedom and autonomy of another person. They only respect what they believe is their right that no one has given them, not even God, that they have a right to infringe upon the rights of other people to the point of death. We know that by black femicide, physical harm, sexual assault. We know all of these things. So now, you have a little bit more information in your arsenal for you to make better decisions. Like the Hispanic lady, white woman, where her little boy was killed because she had a relationship with a black male. She's going to forever now, for the rest of her life, live with the fact that her son is no longer here because she chose to go into a relationship with a black male that she should not have done from the beginning. when you physically look at this dude, if you go watch the news article on this guy, you will see how his whole appearance looks like he's deranged, derelict, and degenerate. You got to stop thinking and acting like you're some type of world social worker where you can fix people who are extremely broken. You have to avoid them at all costs, okay? Now, when she left that dude, I'm more than sure she has seen more than enough videos, because she's on social media like the rest of us, or just simply watch the news, as to how these guys, only these particular dudes, react this way, where they're always trying to take the lives of women who reject them. So if you're dealing with these dudes, you need to have weapons to protect yourself, licensed firearms, and protective gear for your body, and safe spaces in your home that are literally bulletproof, and sort of like a safe room for your children if you have them, so that if ever you got to go into battle with these dudes to save you and your children, you push your children into a safe space. I'm telling y'all, y'all need to become new breed women out here to deal with these dudes, because they don't understand anything except the same amount of violence back. I'm trying to tell you. So when you become the type of woman like I am, where if you're going to deal with these dudes, which I don't, but if you have to protect your children. So somewhere in your house, even if it's a space under the sink where you reinforce the doors with bulletproof shields inside those doors, and on the adjacent wall, from the wall or to the next cabinet, where if a bullet ricochets or something like that, it still cannot penetrate to get your kids. And then you get a lock that locks from the inside, so that when they go inside, they lock it and nobody can get in, and they know how to get out. You got to run drills with them, all this type of stuff. They should be able to know how to call 911 on a cell phone that you have always charged, or can just be turned on and is charged in those spaces, right? You need to teach them everything: their exact address, their phone number, your full name and address, their full name and address. Even if you have to write it down on a piece of paper, keep a working flashlight in the space that you provide for them to be safe in, so that when they're calling for help, they have all the information there in that cubby hole, that space, safe space, or wherever, room, whatever you do, where no one could get to them. And let me tell y'all, it's real easy. Like, even if you lock them in a bedroom, right? There are policeman sticks that you could buy off of Amazon that you bolt into the floor and slide across the floor to the door, so that if the kids go in the room and slam the door behind themselves, that door can be bolted shut, where once that stick slams on that door, it's not that they can do whatever they want. That door is not opening. Okay? So there's things like that. You could buy complete shields for the windows in the room, so that if you have a certain corner you want them to be in, you could just buy a shield. You know how you have you see on movies and stuff, the FBI or the police come through the house with the bulletproof shields? Everybody could buy those things. You could buy those things and have them in your house, so that if something happens and you want your kids to be safe, if they only have to run in their room, all right, run in your room, slam the door, throw the policeman stick on the door, nobody could come through the door. Go into the corner, hide behind the shield. That way, if they letting off or doing anything, nothing is going to happen. Or better yet, if you have them lay on the floor underneath it, then they don't have to worry about nothing coming from the other side of the wall you didn't anticipate. It's all types of ways to deal with these people while you are handling your business. You geared up in all your body gear and you have your right artillery. They come to your house trying to think that this is the Wild Wild West. You let them know what time it is. You go set it completely off and tear them up from head to toe. From head to toe. That's what you do. Because you have got to stop letting these people come in your life, destroy your life, wreck your life, and then come back and take people from your life. You have got to stop that. You have got to. She lived in Dallas, the lady who this jerk came back And because he was jealous of her affection and love and all of the showering of love that she gave her son that his bum self never got in his life, he decided to take that little boy away from her, cut that baby's life down short, and left his mother alive for her to forever be in like a state of, I can't believe I let my son down like that. If I did not deal with this dude, my child would still be alive to this day. My wrong decision cost my baby's life. And now I have to live with that guilt and the pain of my baby being gone for the rest of my entire life. And I don't care how much she gets over it. The facts will always remain that my child is no longer here because I let this piece of trash in my life. And that's the same thing that goes for the black woman who was in a relationship with the dude in the other state that was physically violent. And because she didn't want him anymore in her home, he came in her home and shot her daughter with the gray eyes. I'll never remember that little girl's name, but she was such a beautiful little girl. And he shot her in the head because they hate black women, they hate little girls. And he probably was some type of sexual predator who was probably going to start trying to do things to that little girl. But because the mother kicked him out of the house, he felt like, now I have no access to sexually assault this girl. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to shoot her dead so that the next man the woman brings in that house doesn't have the opportunity that I will never have. This is how they are, y'all. This is how they are. They're sick. They're bugged out. They are a strange breed of males that need to literally be eradicated off the face of the earth, in my opinion, because they bring nothing good to society. They bring nothing good to the communities and the people they come from. Every time you turn around, it's one trash incident they have been involved in after the other. And this is not berating them or bashing them. This is all a matter of fact, okay? I also watched another video on Pretty Black Magic's page today where an Asian woman, Vietnamese woman, she has saved her money to take a trip back to visit her family she hadn't seen for 6 years. She was withdrawing her money at one of them outside ATMs, and y'all need to stop doing that. And if you are going to do that, there are a whole lot of things you need to do to prepare to do that as quickly as possible, or just avoid it altogether. Like, you need to utilize weapons on your body in immediate reach space and go right for parts of the anatomy that immediately make people cease to move. I'll put it that way. Okay? So, because you can't keep doing that, especially in these places where you got all these ignorant black males, no matter how old they are, unemployed. And we know they're unemployed because they didn't cost the government $50 billion because they don't want to work, don't want to get an education, but yet they want to tell women that an education is not needed. Really? Why? So we both could be out here bumming like you, living in the gutter and running up behind people? I don't think so. So he ran up on this woman. Her stuff fell all over the floor. He ran away with the envelope he thought was the money. It was not. He came back. Not just only did he come back and take the stuff, but he came back and body slammed the woman and caused her to be paralyzed. Now, in my opinion, if you're going to rob people, don't kill people, don't hurt people, because most likely 9 out of 10 times people are going to give you what you want. So there's no need to go that extra animalistic yard. However, women, when people are doing things like that to you, this is why I tell y'all, learn to fight and learn some form of martial arts. You don't just allow them to pick you up in the air like that. And if for whatever reason you don't get to scramble back and do what you got to do before you get off that ground, when you get up in the air, you just don't stay up in there. You latch onto his body and make sure you protect the back of your head. That's all you got to do. You latch onto him and protect the back of your head. So if he's trying to pick you up to slam you, you're a small woman. You're supposed to grab him and initially try to go onto his back, no matter how you get there. The fastest way for women, because we're mostly smaller than men, is to go underneath the underarm and hold on while you're traveling, because this is why you need to learn science and everything else. Physics will dictate that the force you take to move will be the force equal that's used to bring it back the other way. So basically what I'm saying is, if you want that motherfucker to come off his feet, you got to swing around that nigga's body with some real motion, holding him and bringing him with you. He will come. Believe me, he will come. Especially if he's using force at the same time. And then he'll be the motherfucker that lands on his head and you won't. So you have got to learn all of these things. This is why I'm saying, when you learn to deal with these people the way they need to be dealt with, a lot of this shit will cease to stop. It will stop. And what I'm talking to you about is basic wrestling moves that you learn in high school. When somebody comes to snatch you up to body slam, there's so many ways to prevent that. But you will not know it if you don't learn it. You got to learn it. And even if you're afraid to try it, sit down and watch some videos on how to counter a body slam. It's so easy. It's easier than you think. And then you just have to have the heart to execute it. And you have to be in the mindset of, seriously, I cannot stress this enough. If a person is trying to hurt you, you got to switch your mind to such an insane person where your mentality is, but I'm getting ready to kill you. So you can try to hurt me all you want, but my intention is to eliminate you. And really be that way. Because they think you're an easy win. They think you're a pussy. And when you start showing them, I'm not, then they got to do it another way. Or don't do it at all. But if you stay prepared for all the ways people could do something, because we're all the same person. Well, it's not person. We're all the same people. The anatomy never changes. And what a man could do, a woman can do, and vice versa. None of us could fly. None of us could do anything superhuman. So they're very limited in how they can attack. You just have to know all the counterattacks. And you're going to be perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. I'm telling you, when he ran away and then he started to run back and she was still on the floor, the first thing she should have did, and y'all need to learn this to knock them off their feet, is when you're low and you want to disable another person, you kick them as they're moving right below the knee or as hard as you can in the shin. That's the bone area of the leg between the knee and the ankle. You kick it to fucking break it. But when you kick it and somebody's moving, they're going to fall. Okay? They're going to fall. And if you've never heard or don't know what a curb stomp is, learn it. Because when he falls, that's what the fuck you should do to him. You should curb stomp the shit out of his ass. Okay? And you should also learn a maneuver to pull a man from the back. From his back, his head straight to the fucking concrete. You got to learn moves like that too. Because these people, see, I have to be cool with what I'm saying because this is YouTube, right? But you have to learn to defend yourself. And learning to hurt people is not pretty. And describing it is not pretty. And executing it is not pretty either. But if it saves your life and it keeps you from being paralyzed like this lady, then you need to know how to do that. And I keep telling y'all this all the time. And it is so easy to do. A couple of hours out of your weekend, a couple of hours out of your week is not going to hurt you, but it will save your life when somebody tries to do something to you. I am telling you, I have lived it, I do it, I experience it. I'm telling you, you need to listen to me. Or go and sit in on a bunch of victim survivors groups and learn how these people were attacked. And instead of them becoming afraid, it released the animal in them. And now these people go to these different meetings to teach people to get courage and teach them how to defend themselves. Some of the most dangerous people on the face of this earth were once a victim of someone and scared to death. That's what you better tap into if you want all this stupidity to stop. You really do. And you need to, remember I told y'all intellect is key? You need to learn so much shit in this world. It's crazy. Like, if you're in a closet You need to know how start reading about construction, different everyday simple repairs in the home. Stuff like that, knowledge like that would teach you things like how to take a pane out of a wall in a closet if you have wooden slats, right? It'll teach you how to get screws loose. It will teach you how to undo the hinges on the door. It will teach you all types of shit like that. Basic things that you could use that would be equivalent to tools. Like, this is the shit I'm talking to you about. You have to literally learn how to function in this world like so many other people, so that if you're in these situations, you could turn the whole scenario around from the hunter and the prey. Instead of being the prey, now you become the hunter, because it's about intelligence. It's not about brawn and brute force. It's about how smart you are and what you know that the other person doesn't. But the first thing you need to know is that as a woman, if you're walking around out here small, you need an equalizer, no matter what that equalizer may be. If it's a licensed handgun, some other weapon that is legal to carry in your state, have it on you at all times. Have multiple ones on you at all times. Even if you have to tape them to particular parts of your body to make sure that you get home safe, get to work safe, get home from work safe, get in and out of your car safe. You have to do these things. And I'm probably the only one who's going to be honest enough to tell you, you got to be out here living like you're in guerrilla warfare with these ignorant black dudes in your neighborhood. Because they don't understand anything unless you put them on their ass. And y'all are going to have to start doing that. Because they think like everybody else thinks. I'm a man, or I'm a guy, I'm stronger, I could do whatever I want. No, you can't. Not to everybody. You really cannot. And if more women had the same arsenal of information, you would be in a lot of trouble the majority of the time. And this type of stuff would not happen on a regular. Believe me when I'm telling you this. I hear all y'all talking about that bullshit book, The Art of War, whatever. That's a bunch of bullshit, okay? What you really need to do, if you got the heart for it, is to sign up for the military. That's what you need to do. Even if you don't want to stay in that motherfucker. You want to learn to survive. You want to learn how to delete people with efficiency and probably serve your country at the same time while doing something positive. That's what you need to do. They'll teach you everything you need to know. They'll teach you how to handle weapons, how to hurt somebody, close hand-to-hand combat, knives, everything. They'll teach you everything. Even to swim if you don't know how. Do that instead of just sitting there letting people whoop on your ass. Instead of sitting there and letting people terrorize your household. Or if you don't want to go the military route, join the police force. Join the FBI. Join the CIA. I have to really look and see if I still have that video that I did about all of the law enforcement agencies you could actually apply for. And a lot of them only require a high school diploma. Believe it or not. Right now, if there are any women out there watching this video that want to escape poverty and immediately change your life overnight, you see how we got this border crisis with immigrants? Go be a border patrol agent. Go become a customs agent. I'm just assuming, and I'm not trying to insult. Let's say you're making less than $40,000. Go get that job. You're going to be close to $80,000 in no time. Plus relocation. Because more than likely, you're going to have to go to another place like Texas, California, somewhere like that. Wherever. You're going to have to do that. And guess what? They're going to teach you how to speak Spanish as well, because that's part of the job. So if you ever wanted to be bilingual, there you go. Okay? Even though if you have a cell phone on you, you don't really need to learn the languages anymore, because they have translator apps that actually work in real time, where you just hold the phone to the person speaking whatever language it is, and the phone will reply for you. It's really that serious out here these days. So what I'm explaining to you is, there's no excuse or reason for you to stay in a poverty-stricken, dysfunctional, overly violent, one step away from black femicide situation with black males. I know a lot of you out there are always talking about, black femicide is not real because you want to believe in these useless, nobody black males who have fallen into trash level existence. But all you got to do is take a quick journey on the other side of YouTube and click onto Black Girl Unlost's page and many of the other women that cover black femicide, and you'll see all of the thousands, hundreds of thousands of black women and little girls and children that have been deleted by these useless, animalistic people who do not want to control themselves. And they want to use every excuse in the book to make it appear as if their mama is responsible, the white man is responsible, society is responsible, everybody except for the actual person committing the action, which is them. I saw a video today of some bum dude looking like he want to be a hospice husband or a hospice father, talking about how it's important to have black males in the home. Really? You think so, huh? Wonder if we go and ask the majority of the women who are no longer in this life, who had these black males in their home, and the children who were deleted, sexually assaulted, and brutalized almost to death, if they agree with the fact that black males need to be inside the home, or if their lives would have been allowed to continue on or been better if those very same black males were not inside the home. I agree with the people who are no longer here. If those individuals were not in their lives, they would still be here to speak with us. So black women, y'all got a choice. You continue to be deleted and have stressful lives and mess up your children's lives, or just separate yourself from them completely and watch the advancements. And if you think I'm lying, right, about separating yourself from them as an advancement, you know how everybody talks about the crime bill of 1990, right? Let me tell you what that crime bill did. That crime bill took the majority of the idiots and the criminals out of our neighborhoods and put them away. And in their absence, the graduation rates went up, literacy went down, crime was almost eliminated. Women went to college and graduated. They came out of poverty at higher rates that has almost never been seen since that time. There were all types of studies about the effects of removing those detrimental and derelict characters out of the home, that there were different courses taught in colleges about them. I attended one, black psychology courses, and it is amazing that things like that people don't want to push to the forefront because they claim it's separation of the race and all this. No, it's not. When you have people inside of your race that are detrimental, no good for the entire race of people, they need to be plucked out. And these dudes need to be plucked out because they are systematically, one by one, taking black women and little girls and children out of this world because they don't fit into the world. And it is just them. Because the black men 2 generations before, they owned businesses, they had degrees, they built their own homes from scratch. They actually had a responsibility level, a reliability level, a dependability level. They knew what fatherhood was, and they did the things they were supposed to do in society. They took advantage of the governmental programs that made people like Johnson & Johnson and etc. These people out here today, they are ne'er-do-wells. People who live to live off of injuring and harming society. Gutter snipes and scallywags who live every day to harass and cause as much hurt and pain, violence and fear in the lives of society and the individual people who unfortunately know them. Y'all need to think about what I said today. Have a good day. Be safe. And don't let these people get the best of you. Just take a look at them. If they're not presenting in the right way, do not give them any play. And stop being afraid of these people. Learn to stand your ground. Stop giving out fake numbers and just walk by and just be firm with it. I'm not interested. Keep walking, or I don't say anything to you at all. You touch me, it's going to be a fucking problem. And that's it. And that's how y'all better start learning to act. Carry what you need to carry. And when somebody touch you, then you injure them to the point where they don't move. And that's it. Because if they get the opportunity, they will do the very same to you. So do it to them first before they do it to you. And it's that simple. It is that simple. It ain't no man bashing, no man hate about it. Do unto others as they do unto you. If you can't do that, then you do what a motherfucker would do to you. Period. And it's that simple. They are menaces to society. Everybody knows it. And you mark my words, okay? The same way they had that 1990s crime bill and snatched them all up and threw them into jail, it's coming again. Because every time I turn on the news at night where I live, they're doing something retarded, something dangerous, or life-taking from everybody around them. Not just black women in their community, but they're going into other people's communities too. And that's probably, truth be told, the reason why Mississippi came up with that House Bill 1020 to oversee the courts in that particular area, because from what I was reading, they were having a large increase in crime of homicidal burglaries and etc. So now, with them being over the court system in that state, and this is the crazy part people don't know, Mississippi is one of those states where if you go to jail, you can't go to jail for life, period. And if you come out, you could be banned from ever being a part of society again for life. Like, you can't vote, you can't do nothing. So if those males over there were to be stupid enough to put themselves in that position, you black women in those areas need to be smart enough to learn to buy yourself a Greyhound ticket and get the hell out of that state. You need to. Because if it's running down like that bad, you need to go to safety, no matter where you live. But it's coming. The massive incarceration of them because they're acting like animals in the street. Well, less than animals, because I don't want to insult animals, right? They're acting worse than rabid animals. They're going to put them down one way or the other. Either they're going to start deleting more of them, or they're going to start putting them into incarceration, because they're showing the world we don't know how to socialize among civilized people. Even though we don't have any real reason to act this way, we do it because this is what we have acclimated ourselves to and what we have become accustomed to and what we socialize each other to do. So we'll continue to do these ignorant things instead of stopping this shit while we can. So I say they need to hurry up with it. Hurry up, roll out whatever you're going to roll out, grab them up out of here and get them the hell away from all the rest of us, because the rest of us want to live decent lives and we don't need them fucking up our lives. All right, y'all. Have a good day.